Is it recording?
Yep.
In the audio?
Audio is perfect.
Okay. Um, let me talk to my page. Okay. Hey y'all, my name is Destiny Strong. Many of you may know me as Des, the best lash tech in Charlotte, hands down. And then others on my channel may have watched me transform into womanhood. Date night, get ready with me, getting ready for a little date. Halloween parties with my friends, makeup and hair tutorials, into a businesswoman, and then into motherhood, where my baby girl was born early, premature, at 6.5 months, and that has changed me. My life has changed forever since then. And yeah, so okay, this video will tie it all together for everybody. How I've gotten to recording a podcast was God, really. He gave me this last week and he deposited it into my spirit, and I'm like, is this God or is this me? And I was like, no, God, I need you to send me a confirmation. And literally the very next day, I had a client for the first time, never met her before. And she was like, you should start a podcast. And I was like, I hear you, God. So here we are. And I've been telling myself, like, no more procrastinating. When God gives you something, do it. Like, so that's why we're here, literally the next week. I'm not going to play. Everything God tells me to do, I am hitting the ground running. So here we are. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. Okay. First, I want to talk about what I want this podcast to be about. And then we're going to get into my entrepreneurship journey. And so the podcast, first, we're going to start with, should we start with the name first? Or should we start with what it's about?
Start with the name.
Okay. So the name, I'm so nervous. I'm kind of nervous. It's a good nervous. Anyways, so the name of the podcast is the Reach One Podcast with Destiny Strong. Yay! Let's put some claps up for that. Number one, I feel like finally my name is being used for something. Okay, my name is obviously used for my name, but you know, Destiny Strong speaks for itself. And some people get it, some people it goes over their head. But the name speaks for itself. And then it ties into entrepreneurship and all the things that we're going to get into in this podcast. So that's the name. It really kind of stemmed from like the reach each one, teach one. And here we are. So I'm excited about that. And now let's get into what the podcast is going to be about. So the podcast is going to be about entrepreneurs, business women and men, and their journey. I know when I was, and still am, but in the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, I love looking at success stories, like a Will Smith or anybody that I knew, Ming Lee, anybody that I knew that was like popping, especially the ones who like it didn't come handed to them. I love success stories. So that's going to be the number one thing, is just the success stories, to see like, okay, if they did it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, one or many of the people on the podcast, or even me, that hopefully one of us will be relatable to you guys, and will encourage you as far as the journey. So yeah, entrepreneurship journey. Also, the main thing is also like I said, reach one. And so that for me is being able to drop gems. Like everybody that sits on this couch, I'm going to ask them, what's one like major gem that you can give to the people who are watching, that many people don't talk about, or that actually made your career, or that really propelled you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all of us are just figuring it out. Like nobody has the answers to business or to just life. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into some life stuff too. I'm going to get in entrepreneurship and life go hand in hand. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. But yeah. So just dropping, we're going to have the major gems to be dropped, because I also feel like because we're all figuring it out, we need a community where we can all come and learn. We can all come and share. Just like how they have the share a book or something like that in public settings. I just saw that at the gym today. They had like a little share a book where you can bring your used books and share them. Because once you're done reading them, they're sitting on the shelf. And so this is what this podcast will be about, for just life tips and entrepreneurship tips. You know what I'm saying? We're going to share some knowledge. Okay? So this would be a community for that, for growing. And what else? So that's basically it. Just a community for the growth, for life tips, and yeah, like we're gonna get into like mental health and spiritual journey and entrepreneurship journey. Just anything self-improvement. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm all about. That's what my life is about. And so, yeah, we're going to get into it. So that is that. And then as far as business being combined with life, there's no such thing as being an entrepreneur and only working on your business and not working on yourself. Like, no such thing. If you do that, your business is not going to go far, because you are your business. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that over the years in business. Like as I'm growing my business, I'm growing myself as a person. I'm getting better with my mental. I'm getting better with how I handle people. You know what I'm saying? Healing myself. Like, you know how they say hurt people hurt people? It's like the same thing in business. Like if you are a broken person, if you are a hurt person, you're going to be quick to cut somebody out. You're going to be quick to, you know what I'm saying? But it's like if you're because to be in a service industry or to have a business, the biggest misconception is that I'm going to go work for myself because I don't have to deal with people. Because you're going to have to deal with people. For one, you need people, you need community to build your business. And for two, most businesses, I don't know any business that doesn't have a client or a customer. You're going to have a client where service-based, where you're like one-on-one with the person, or a customer that's purchasing from you. And you're going to have, to deal with some clients or customers not satisfied with their service or their product. And so it all depends on how you deal with that client. That is either going to make them a returning client or customer, or have them not return. And also, which is the biggest one, is word of mouth. Talk junk about you and your business. You know what I'm saying? So it's a happy medium with that too. Finding a balance, something that's fair for you and your customer. But I just said all of that in a nutshell to say that being an entrepreneur and working on yourself, being a good entrepreneur and a good person goes hand in hand. So that's how this podcast ties into everyone, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. It's all about self-work. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can learn from this podcast. So stay tuned. Even if you're not an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, this podcast will definitely help you. Like I said, we'll do mental health and all the things. So stay tuned. As well, okay, so stay tuned, yeah. So as far as me, the first podcast will be me. I'm going to be talking about myself, like I said before, and my journey as an entrepreneur, just for you guys to get to know me more and also to get to know what the podcast is going to be about. And after that, we will be having guests. So we're going to have a few guests. I have a few potential guests lined up for real estate, investments, architecture. So yeah, just stay tuned because it's going to get turned up very quickly. Okay. We're going to come with the bangers in the beginning. So y'all know, like, this is a tone that we're setting. So I think that's it as far as what to expect. So we got into the name. We got into what the podcast is going to be about. So let's get into me and my journey. And so my entrepreneurship journey, when did I know I wanted to be an entrepreneur? In college. When I was in college, I had my first job. I don't know if I can say where. I should. I can say where. Panera Bread. So my first job was in Panera Bread, and I worked there for about a year. I think a good solid year. The first time I was there, we had great management. Everything was good. Or when I was first there, we had great management. Everything was good. Once we got new management, it was like this one lady who came in, and she was just so nasty and seemed like she had a vendetta against me. And I don't understand why, but it made my experience not so good. And it was just like, if one person can, like, I remember walking out because I was working and she wanted me to clean the diner. First of all, I was a cashier. Let's start there. And I had my own little area that I had to clean and make sure was right. And it's a lot. If you know, you know. Panera Bread is a lot. It's a lot of bread. It's a lot of crumbs. It's a lot of like shelves that you got to clean. And so I remember I made sure I would always clean before it was time to go. So when it was time to go, I can go home. And at the time, my mom was driving me back and forth to work. So I didn't want her. She didn't want to be waiting all night, and I didn't either. I was ready to go. So this particular night, I was done cleaning, and out of nowhere, she's like, yeah, clean the dining room. I don't know if somebody quit or if there was nobody in the dining room, but basically, Miss Mamas didn't do her job, and she wanted me to clean the dining room because she didn't feel like doing it. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing it. And she was rude. Mind you, it had just been built up. Like, she was rude over time, and that was just my last straw when she tried to make me clean the dining room. I said, no, I'm not, and I left. And I quit. But before I did, I already had a job at Macy's lined up. You know, that I was working. So your girl was always 10 steps ahead. But after that, I just felt like, and that was, I think, 2013, maybe 2015. So before it was a trend to be an entrepreneur, it was already in me. Okay? It was in me, not on me. Or it is in me, not on me. Anyways, so from then on, I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I went through a lot of different things before getting to this point. I remember watching. I have to go get the food. I remember reading a book. I remember watching YouTube videos, and this one girl, she was like, "This is the book to read." The book was called "You're Bad ASS at Making Money" or something like that. And the cover was, oh, no. Or "You Are Bad ASS." The cover was yellow. I may find it and link it down below. But it was life-changing for me. The book was more than just about being an entrepreneur, but like I said, it's about self-work. So we did a lot of, the book literally makes you go back, because I think she was a life coach and she had life coaches. So it like made you go back through the years and trauma and undo things and reprogram yourself to think the positive things and to believe that this can happen for me. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big major piece that holds a lot of people back from going after their dreams, is believing that they can do it. So I remember I was working security, y'all. Because like I said, after Macy's, I had security lined up. So yeah, so I was working security. I remember reading a book, journaling, and I still have that journal. It's not with me right now, but I remember journaling out, undoing the wrong things and putting good things into myself, and just praying to God, like whatever it is, like hoping that my passion aligned with it, with my purpose. That's what it is, passion and purpose. And hoping that the two aligned and that I can make money doing what I love. And so I just started to really explore things that I love to do. And then my gifts that God has given me, because that's another one, like your purpose aligning with your purpose, with your passion and your gifts. So my gifts, like things that I was gifted at, and then ways I can make money from that. And so the first thing was fashion. And I, since middle school, would always like make, I would always make, sorry y'all, my food is coming and the phone is ringing. But anyways, I would always make outfits for my Barbie dolls out of like duct tape and tissue, and just make different styles with that. And then as I got older, I started to draw. I had a best friend named Mariah. Hey girl, whoop whoop, if you see this. In high school, and she was into fashion too. So we would draw together, draw things. But even before her, I remember going to Olympic High School, which we actually went to Olympic together. Shout out to Olympic. And I think I was in Renaissance school. First it was global, then Renaissance. But I took a class with Miss Dunn. What's her name, Miss Dunn? I think it was Miss Dunn. And it was a interior design class. And we literally would take patterns. I remember going, no, it was Miss Jatan. That gives like art. Anyways, we would go on field trips to get like patterns and fabric. And we would literally make a whole shirt or whatever out of fabric. Like that was what we, that was our grade. That's what we got graded on.
What was the name?
He's calling.
What was the name of the place?
Leah. Leia, L-A-I. So yeah, like we literally would go on field trips, make a whole shirt. I remember my first shirt was like blue and it was see-through, like a chiffon shirt, because your girl was always Miss Sexy attitude, but very classy at the same time. But yeah, it was a little see-through shirt and it was like a bluish green color and it had like a little bow tie. It was so cute. I actually wore that shirt for a while. But anyways, I did a fashion and interior class. And then when I started going to South Meck, which is another high school, 2 years at Olympic, 2 years at South Meck. Thank you. 2 years at Olympic and 2 years at South Meck. And once I got to South Meck, I did interior design and I think that was Miss Dunn. And both classes were I was so in love. Like the teachers were great. It just gave so much art, and art for me is just inspiring. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first thing after graduating high school. So actually, girl, I'm going all the way back to high school and middle school. Anyways, after high school, was in college. So fast forward, we're in college now. I decided to go to school for sports medicine and athletic training. I had an advisor who suggested that, because I was like, it's no point of going to school for fashion because that's natural. So I want to go to school for something that's going to help people in life. And so I chose sports medicine because I always had, I guess you call it healing hands. My mom and my grandmother both had injuries that I was the only one that can like massage them to help them feel better. So that's how that came together with sports medicine. And I went to CPCC first for my first 2 years, UNCC after that. And in the middle of that, I decided that I wasn't happy with the school I went to. I just felt like another number. And I wished I would have went to HBCU. Honestly, to have that experience and to not feel like another number. But that wasn't my journey, but I definitely will like kind of push my baby in that direction if that's what she want to do, but just from a mother with experience, that's what I would suggest for my baby. And yeah, so after that, I decided to go back to CPCC to get my associates in arts, got my associate's degree, and now it's like, now what? And so in between that, when I decided to go back to CPCC, I got associated with the Women's Business of Charlotte. That is a organization here in Charlotte, North Carolina, that helps women, even men, but it's centered around women. And it's a nonprofit organization to help you in your business, help you structure your business. So I would go to classes. I remember Miss Natalie. She's not there anymore, but she was amazing. She aligned. I remember having a meeting with her and just telling her what I wanted to do and that I need a mentor, which was fashion. She aligned me with LaShonda Murphy. Hey, my beautiful, beautiful mentor. I feel so warm thinking about her because she was amazing. We still are connected and check in here and there, but she's a very busy woman, okay? She is a styling image consultant. She also had her own tuxedo rental company, and she was just so amazing. She was very classy, very much a lady, very much of integrity, and what else? She just held herself to an amazing high standard that I admired in her work ethic, business-wise. I admired in her. And I remember the time that I was trying to reach out to her as a mentor, she was busy. So she told me after the fact that she wasn't going to be accepting mentees. But what stood out to her about me was that I was I wanted to meet her in person. And I told her I was a face-to-face type of person. I like to feel, vibes. And I guess young people aren't like that anymore. And so, okay, good. It's going to stay on there. So I guess that stood out to her. What time is it?
8:11.
Okay. So I guess that stood out to her. And that's how I became her mentor. I just used to shadow her. After school, I would go, and after school and after work, because I was working security, I would go and just shadow her and be with her, do whatever she needed me to do, serve. Y'all, when I say serving is so underrated, and it's like you have to serve your way to your destiny. I like that, serving your way to your destiny, because that's how you're going to get there. Like, it's not going to be like you're going to start out as the star. Never. You have to serve. You know what I'm saying? And giving back. And in that, you're sowing good seed. And you're going to get that back 10 times fold. So that's how I started out, serving her. And she had photo shoots. And I remember I was like, I want to make some extra money to support me where I don't have to be at security at the front desk. Because really my security was receptionist based. So I was just at the front desk at Spectrum and stuff. Spectrum. Oh, my God. That sounds so country. But yeah, so I started out doing her makeup because I did my own makeup today, you guys. So it's in me, not on me. But anyways, and I learned how to do makeup from YouTube when I was younger. Go back and watch my YouTube videos, y'all. Y'all go see. But I started out doing her makeup for photo shoots, and she was like, this is what you need to be doing. Like, this is your passion. Like, not passion, but she was just like, this is what you're gifted at. And I ignored it for the longest. I was doing her makeup and other people's for photo shoots, and I was just like, yeah, no, don't want to do it. And then finally one day it was in December of 2019, I decided to start DosedByDes. And it started out with me doing makeup. But before I started DosedByDes, I was doing makeup, and then she was sending me to Atlanta to work with a designer. His name was Miguel Wilson. He was amazing, very sweet, very talented, and he would design suits for celebrities like 2 Chainz, Snoop Dogg, Lil Baby, a lot of big people in Atlanta. And I remember him just like taking me. It was the hunger, y'all. I would go to Atlanta for free to work with this man. Like, he wasn't paying me, but it was just to be there, to be around it. That's how hungry you gotta be. Like, I would drive my little Honda Civic, honey, my little two-door. I don't know if it was a 2007. When I got it, it was kind of not so old. It only had one owner. Anyways, my little 2000 whatever blue Honda Civic two-door baby to Atlanta. Fill up my little tank, $30 back then. And I was going to Atlanta. Period. I would stay with, I have an uncle who has like a high rise in Buckhead. Anyways, I have an uncle who stays in Buckhead. I would stay with him. And yeah, I would just go and make it a thing. Like, while I was there, I would do makeup. I would work with him. He took me on some of his like fittings and kind of took me under his wing. Like, we did golf. He told me, this is where you're going to make the money. Your biggest deals is doing golf. Like, as a woman, you need to learn how to do golf and all of this. So stay tuned for that, because you're going to see that soon. Yeah, like cigar bars. He just opened my mind up to the business world, and just put me up on game on a lot of things, just in business in general. Like, but yeah, that was a great experience. He's still doing it till this day, just getting better and better. And I just admire looking at him from afar now. So appreciate you. Shout out to you, Miguel Wilson. And then after that, I started DosedByDes. So like I said, I was going there doing makeup. I had connections like from his fashion show, and I would go up there. I've met people, networked, and just would go back up there. While I was there, I would do makeup. And yeah, it was cool. But after a while, not even too long after that, I decided to start doing something that had a return service, like a maintenance service. And lashes were the first thing. I did my training with a girl from Atlanta. And to be honest, I didn't learn much, because anything that I want to do, I already do my background work on. So I was already studying it on YouTube. And so I basically am self-taught. I did do another training class after that with my girl Emily, and she was great. I learned a lot from her. But yeah, and so now we're here. I went to Aveda Institute. I was pregnant with my baby when I signed up. I had everything like aligned that I was gonna go to school while I was still pregnant with her. By the time I graduated, I would be having her, and my maternity leave would kick in with my other job. And yeah, but at the same time, I was already working as a lash tech, so I had a little bit of a clientele. And then I had just got my new suite. But my baby ended up coming early, y'all. 3.5 months early. And that's when the journey began, like the tough journey for me. She came early, premature. They didn't know why. She was just born early. And we just had to watch her grow outside of the womb. She was born at 1 pound, 9 ounces. Soraya Destiny. My everything. But yeah, 1 pound, 9 ounces, you guys. She had a head full of hair, nice, beautiful eyebrows and eyelashes. You know, maybe I manifested that because, you know, I was already in the industry. But yeah, and we're gonna have to get into that. But it was a journey, y'all. It was a lot. Shortly after I had her, school was starting, so I was in school full time. From 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., making sure I go see my baby before and after school, pumping in between classes. We had like tests every day, passing tests, having to go pump real quick, then having to talk on the phone with her doctors about the risk and, you know, new procedures, and these are the risks that can happen, and her brain development, and all of this that is based off of my decision that can hurt or help, you know what I'm saying, which was hard to do. It was some days I even stayed up there all day pumping just by her bed, just talking to her. I made sure I saw her every day. Y'all, I knew every nurse. I quizzed every nurse. They knew that this baby wasn't the one to play with. It was even COVID time, so my family wasn't able to come and support. So it was a lot, but God pulled us through. My baby girl is three in like 4 months now, and she is so just smart Like, by the grace of God, like, you would never be able to tell. She don't look like a preemie. She nice and thick. She is head full of hair, full of life. Very, very smart. She loves to read. She has conversations with you, full of sentences. Like, it's a blessing. I'm so blessed, and we will get more into that story later. But just know that God pulled through. Okay. And so, yeah, after I graduated during school, my job decided to fire me because would not extend my maternity leave. And knowing me and knowing that job, people were rude. I wasn't in a space to deal with people every day and their rudeness, knowing that my baby's in the NICU fighting for her life. So I was like, I'm not ready. I had to pump every day, and mind you, I was in school. So I was just like, this was God's. I always said I would not leave my job until God moved me. And the fact that they fired me and wouldn't extend my maternity leave in that time was the sign. So after they fired me, I went full time. That was in 2020, and I never went back. Never went back. Stayed, worked on my business, and built it up into now we have a consistent clientele base. I'm able to fully support me and my baby on my own, and God is amazing. And so that is my entrepreneurship journey, you guys. Hopefully some things, stuck out to some people, encouraged women, beautiful mothers, that you can do it. And yeah, if y'all want to know more about the NICU story, the NICU journey, let me know in the comments below, and we'll get more into that later. So, is this recording? Oh, I was about to be sick. The sound is on? Okay. You can hear me?
Yes, clearly.
What time is it?
8:21.
All right. We rolling with time, y'all. Today I have not eaten today. I went to the gym, got my hair done, and we're here. So, anywho, let's get to whatever else we need to talk about. That flowed. Entrepreneurship, self-work. We already talked about that. Okay. What's next? All right. So I feel like we pretty much touched on everything. We touched on everything. We'll get into some other stuff at another time. You guys, I have so much to share, and we have time. We have so much time, so many more episodes to come. So let me know that y'all love it, and we're going to keep rolling, okay? With the views, shares, likes, comments, subscribing. Yeah, let's subscribe. I'm going to figure out how to put it on, other platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of those things. We're going to be on all the things. Even Patreon, like exclusive content. We're going to do that. So, if y'all have any gems for me, let me know in the comments to do that. But we touched on everything. I feel so good, y'all. So my ending words, I guess, my closing words for my first podcast would be, I guess I should ask myself that question I would ask everybody, which is, what's the one gem that you would leave for people, or the one thing that helped propelled me into my destiny? And to answer that, I would say self-work, self-development. No matter what you want to do in life, self-development. One major thing I did was discipline to help propel me, was discipline. Knowing that I have to be disciplined in order to get stuff done. And no matter if I'm tired, no matter how I feel, I have to work. You know what I'm saying? And so what helped me with discipline was the gym. I've been going strong in the gym. Not since I started my business, but since I decided, all right, we got to take this to the next level. I think it was 2019 I think it was 2020 or 2021 when my baby came home. So in 2021, between 2020 and 2021, I've been consistent in the gym ever since. And before that, I've always went to the gym before. But anyways, because I can ramble, like we said. But the gym, y'all, the gym is what helped me listen to motivational things like E.T., the hip hop preacher. He is my favorite. Listening to him and motivational things while I work out. And God, keeping God first. Y'all about to see this turn up in my life, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, it's God. I'm going to tell y'all because he loved me, okay, and I love him. And even to get to this point of the podcast, like God aligned it. Like I said, he gave it to me last week, and here we are today. And he gave me who to ask, who to help me, and we here. Like when God give you something, it's nothing that can stop you. Don't worry about how to do it. Don't worry about the money. Just start walking. Just start doing it, and God will start aligning. He wants you to move. Once you start moving, he will move. Okay? Please remember that. So yeah, I think that was maybe 3. But those are some good gems. So hopefully y'all take that and run with it. And yeah, we're going to be doing, I don't want to speak too prematurely, but I feel like I want to do once a week, if not once every 2 weeks. Monday, it'll probably a Monday or Tuesday drop. We'll figure it out, but it'll be very frequent. It won't be long before you hear from me soon. And yeah, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. My personal Instagram is DestinyStrong_. My Lash Tech Instagram, if you want to get your lashes done, baby, is DosedByDes. And then the podcast Instagram will be hopefully the Reach One podcast. Maybe I should wait until it's up. It'll be in the description box, but I'm feeling like the Reach One podcast, and that's it. The Reach One podcast is where you can find us, and the Reach One podcast will be where you can find us everywhere else, unless I announce it. But yeah, y'all, just show me some love on my first podcast, you guys. Oh, one thing many of you may not know is I'm a natural motivator. Like, I grew up in a single parent house. I had a single mom, and I just will always motivate her. And so this is another one of my many gifts that I'm using. And so you will be motivated during this journey, this podcast. So if you're looking for that, some gems, subscribe. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you share. Follow us on all platforms, and be on the lookout for our next video. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we're out.